It's like, no, that's not my signature. It's a copy of what purports to be my signature. This your wording, how you address it. You know, hey, it seems like it's my that it looks like a copy of what looks like my signature, but no, that's not my actual Reading signature, right? And most times they can't even bring them original contract. But even if they brought the original contract, who's going to testify that you did that? You know you have a right not to incriminate yourself, right? You can remain silent on that question. I can either confirm or deny. All right, passport. Anything else before I move on to this? All right. All that stuff I said about nationality comes down to this. How you fill this out. You'll run into people that talk about you need to correct your nationality. You need to correct your nationality. And they have all this long, drawn-out paperwork for you. And I'm here to tell you this is all you need to do. All. And this here tells you I can skip everything and go straight to the oath because that's where the answer is. In the oath. Right here on the application. And the whole key is not to look like a U.S. citizen, right? And this is the part, they don't read this first part to you. They'll start right here. Number 2, the statements made on this application are true and correct. I have not knowingly, whoever went for a passport before. This is the part they read to you. They don't read the first part. They read all of the part about your photograph is you and all that stuff is correct, right? This thing been going on. Nobody important. Good. All right. Let's read the actual oath from the beginning. It says, I declare under penalty of perjury all of the following. I am a citizen or non-citizen national of the United States and have not, since acquiring U.S. citizenship or nationality, performed any of the acts listed under acts and conditions on page 4 of this instructions of this application. Are you familiar with that? Anybody familiar with that statement? So can somebody interpret that? It's all legalese, and I don't expect y'all to get it 100% right. Can you kind of give me the gist of what that just said? No. It's saying I declare under penalty of perjury all of the following. What you're saying, you're making a declaration to the facts here. Saying that all of this is true and correct. And if not, you can charge me with a crime. Right? Everything on this application is true. That's what this is. I declare under. But what I want you to focus on is number 1. It says, I am a citizen of the United States or non-citizen national of the United States and have not, since acquiring U.S. citizenship or nationality, performed any of the acts listed under acts and conditions on page 4 of this instructions of this application unless explanatory statements is attached. Because I'm going to give somebody another shot, then I'll break it down. Right? But start at the beginning. Don't skip the beginning part. You went to the end. Right. You're making a declaration that you're what? You going there. That you one of these. Right? Performed any of the acts listed in the acts and conditions on page 4 of the instruction application, unless what? Okay, so what is this saying? I'm going to break it down. It's saying you're a U.S. citizen, you're a citizen of the United States or a non-citizen national of the United States, unless you do 2 things. You do what acts and conditions says on page 4, and you attach explanatory statements. So it's saying that you're a U.S. citizen You're going to be looked at as a U.S. citizen unless you do what's on page 4 and supply your explanatory statement. See, they did it in legalese to confuse you so you would never get it. And if I didn't break this down, y'all would have never saw that, right? Because they did it backwards. Instead of just saying, hey, listen, if you're not a U.S. citizen, just go to Ask and Conditions and follow the instructions and give us explanatory statement. They just said it in layman terms. They know we are not lawyers because this was written by a lawyer to just confuse you, just like the Bible says. Christ has said, you lawyers blind the minds of the people, something to that effect. He condemned lawyers, so this is telling you not to even get a lawyer, right? So they did this to cause confusion. So if they wrote that in the Bible, that means it's been going on for however long. These type of confusing status, right? While you're under that contract, you are a U.S. citizen. This foreign state thing. I've seen someone take an oath to the do you know if you become, thou shalt have no other gods before me? The government wants you to think of him as God. That's why they have in God we trust. They ain't talking about that God. They talking about government over dominions. That's what God really stands for, okay? And take further notice, Holy Bible, Romans 12, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, meaning I'm not going to be a U.S. citizen, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove that what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. So all of this is right at the beginning. So they can't turn this down. Take special notice of Christ's word at Matthew 18:6. But whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him if a millstone were hung around his neck and he would drown in the depth of the sea. That's my warning. Don't mess with me, because this is what you need to be doing if you stumble me. Good. Right, you just switch it up. Right, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Use it. I just use that because that's where I know. But I might switch it up and use what you're talking about. Because I do have a Bible that said all of the names of God, Yah, Elohim, and all of those things are in there. Actually, those are the original, I know, yeah, those are all the original names. We're using made-up names, like Jesus is a made-up name. That's a straw man name. You know, because the letter J didn't exist until 500 years ago. I am fully aware of all of the misconceptions, but sometimes I speak in their tongue. Remember, yeah, right. Well, you can use, no, in this case, you can use those names. Yeah, use them. I'm not saying nothing wrong with that because it's all about religion. Right, they can't, I've been saying it, but I haven't shown the proof. Let me do that. Let me get the actual PDF so I don't have to scroll through all of this. Well, I can use that one. Then go to the Bill of Rights, Declaration of Rights. All of them say this. I just picked one out of a hat, and it says right here: religious freedom, freedom of speech, right of assembly, petition. The General Assembly shall make no law respecting and establish a religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. That's in every constitution. You're gonna see that at the very top. The reason why they did this, because the people that wrote this wanted to protect their religious freedom. What were they doing when they first came over here? They were trying to convert the indigenous people to their form of beliefs. So they wrote this in as a protection. The colonizers didn't write that. Your ancestors wrote that. Okay? Stop thinking that they got this stuff from the indigenous people. It's called the Great Law of Peace. I got a whole congressional record where they break down how what they're calling the founding fathers got the constitutional provisions from the Great Law of Peace from the indigenous people here. No. From the England? No. How can they do that? Let's make sense of that. England is a what? What type of government is it? A monarchy. So how can they have, this is supposed to be what? A democracy, right? Really a republic, right? By law, right? So this type of government, the people run things. And they control the small group of people, right? They put them in office to be in control, and them people are trustees for you to make sure you as the beneficiary get what that Constitution says they're supposed to do. Constitutions are written to keep them in check. It's not, you don't have constitutional rights. You have what you call unalienable rights protected by the Constitution, right? So when people say, I got constitutional rights, no, you don't. You never took an oath to that. They did. This is the only thing they take an oath to. Every officer take an oath to this. And people say, well, the Constitution is dead. Then how come the president just took an oath to it to defend it? How come every officer before he get commissioned take an oath to it if it's so dead? And it says defend. What does defend mean? That they will die for it. Okay? If it came down to it, they will kill someone who infringes on this. And because we not activating them in the right capacity. We don't know. We so dumbed down. Even the ones who take the oath don't know. They take a cliff note type of like they get a little lesson on it and then they take an oath. They don't even know the whole thing. I've seen someone take an oath to the do you know if you become the legal guardian of somebody, you gotta take an oath to the Constitution? I watched a person, my fiance, took an oath because her son's handicapped. You know, he's not had the mental capacity, so we went in there so that she can be deemed him incompetent to take care of his affairs so she can take care of it, right? She took an oath to the Constitution and she ain't never read the Constitution in North Carolina in her life. I'm like, I'm sitting here with my eyes like this. You taking an oath to something you don't even know what it says. Right? Well, luckily she had me, I know what it says. But I'm saying they got people taking oaths to stuff that they know nothing about. So that's the same way with these cops. They don't know that they pulling you over and what they doing is illegal. You know, like a little side note, I can show you where it's illegal. That's your religious freedoms. Here it is. Attainder, Section 4. Ex post facto laws, impairment of contract, titles, affection of conviction. No bill of attainder, ex post facto law impairing the obligation of contract, nor law granting any title of nobility or hereditary emolument shall be passed, and no conviction shall work corruption of blood. So they're saying ex post facto law, bill of attainder. What's a bill of attainder? Let's look it up. They ain't even, I don't want Latin, I want English. What's the English part? Oh, that's the translation, the definition. Item of legislation prohibited by the U.S. Constitution that inflicts attainder without judicial process. Meaning, they convict you of something like a traffic ticket without having a trial by jury. That's what that means. You need to go through the judicial process in order for them to charge you something. So what a bill of attainder would be is you driving, no registration, no license, and they want to tow your car and take it. In order for you to get it back, you got to pay them. That's a bill of attainder. They didn't go through judicial process to take your property, number one. Now, to get it back, you got to pay them to get it back, right? And no judge said you were guilty when you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. So to pay a fine or a towing fee is a bill of attainder. You didn't go through the judicial process, and I'm paying to get my property back. You didn't get permission from a court to even take my car. That's all bill of attainder. Guess what else is a bill of attainder? Driver's license. You telling me I have to get a driver's license, and if I don't get one, you're going to fine me, and guess what? I got to come to you to get it. You making me get something, and I got to pay you to get it. That sounds like extortion to me. Right? Isn't that? We just do these things mindlessly, and they're not right. You're saying I am required to have this in order to not get stopped, to be in compliance, but I got to pay you to get it. Why can't I just have it as a benefit and get it free? Give it to me. If you're making it a requirement. That's like you coming to my house, hey man, you can have it. You got to come to my house to eat. Come to my house and eat, but now I'm gonna charge you, eat my food. But you got to come. You gonna look at me like, are you crazy? Right? So they got you eating at a table without giving you a choice. That's a bill of attainder. And it forbids that. Ex post facto law. That's a law. Anything law they wrote after this, and it contradicts this, is ex post facto law. So all of your driver's license laws, all those codes and statutes, those laws are ex post facto law. Because now you're being punished for something that wasn't a law back then. So driver's license, IRS laws, all of those are ex post facto laws. And you can use this to defend. I stick this, I had open like with that debt with the IRS, the state tried to take my bank account. IRS wasn't bothering me because I had them at bay, but I was sending something to the state was ignoring it, didn't respond to letters, so they went into one of my bank accounts and took about $100, right? For this $2,400 debt that they said I owed. So all I did was take the Constitution and stick it in their face, and then they backed off. I said, he said, well, you owe this money. I said, did y'all get a court order to say I owe this money? Well, we don't have to. I said, the Constitution says you got to go through judicial process in order to get this money. Bill of attainder. So they took my money without judicial process. That's a bill of attainder. That's another example. Okay? All that stuff they're doing is wrong. All right, right. They did it without a court order. And the bank giving up your money. Did I give you permission to give my money to someone else? Without a court order? Child support, same way. They don't be having court orders. They just be sending these things saying you owe, and then your job give them the money. But you don't know what you're looking at. You think it's right. So here's another one. All courts shall be public, and every person shall have speedy remedy therein for wrong sustained. So when they take you to jail and you sit in 2 and 3 days in jail, they're supposed to take you to the judge immediately. You're not supposed to sit there and wait on the judge to get in. They're supposed to take you before that judge as soon as they got you, because what y'all don't understand is there's 2 types of warrants. There's an arrest warrant, and there's a warrant to incarcerate you. Most times they only have the arrest warrant. Okay, we got them. Now, before we go to jail, we need to get a warrant to have him in jail. That's why you ever go to, I've been in that position before. They said, well, you can't see the judge until the warrant gets. You ever heard that term? Never? You can't see the judge until the warrant comes. They tell you that. They be open with it. Your warrant's not here, so you can't see the judge. Then I ain't supposed to be in jail, because the judge can't see you without having a warrant in front of him. So you're not supposed to be locked up without a warrant. They're supposed to have a warrant to have you in jail. This arrest is different from incarceration. There's 2 different warrants. The arrest is just to take you into custody. And then you got to go see the judge, and then the judge writes the custody order. You see? Everything has to be done by judicial process when it comes to putting someone in jail. But they skip those steps all the time. And that's what I exploit. Because they do it backwards. They take you to jail before they even have the arrest warrant. Then they put you in jail before they have the custody warrant. You see? Yes, you can. But I would sue the insurance because they all have bonds. So you just sue the insurance. See, once an officer gets sued against the insurance, then he becomes unbondable. He can't be a police officer. That's the best way to get an officer off the force. And the second best way to get him is something no one ever used. It's through civil rights violation. You go to FBI.gov and say he violated your civil rights and point out that he didn't have any of these things. And then they're gonna ask you, is it a pattern of abuse? Check that off. The FBI got to investigate. And even if it don't go anywhere, guess what happens? It's a part of the record. And guess what happens? That raises insurance rates. See, you gotta attack where the money is. Where the money. And money is, them insurance bonds are expensive. And you become unbondable, you know, even though these guys get off for shooting and killing people, his insurance goes up. Because now they have to pay off that. Who you think pays that? The insurance. That's why they get dismissed from one place and then they go get hired somewhere else. Yeah, there it is. So let's go back to the who was on the passport. Oh, I was looking at the affidavit. All right, there's the affidavit. Then I say, I declare that my name is Akeem Barber, proper style, aka Barber Akeem, under the sole authority and allegiance to the irrevocable Abrahamic covenant, which is a foreign state. So I just use their language in my paperwork. And then I say I'm a free inhabitant and native North American, Indian, New York, and national, but not a citizen.
Peace, peace. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? It is Consultation Monday. What's going on? How's everybody doing? I do have questions for the email. The Q&A. You can turn this down. Q&A. This is Q&A Mondays. Haven't had one in a while. Had a lot of things going on. So here's a question. I opened up a business account with the church EIN, non-interest bearing. They opened it as a sole proprietor with their name. No social security number, great, was given. Would the bank be reporting transactions on this account like they normally do? Banks don't normally report transactions on any account unless it's over $9,999. So I don't know what the bank is going to do. I don't work for the bank and how they report stuff. All you need to worry about is you use your church EIN and it's exempt from you having to report. What they report is on them. So if they do report, it doesn't matter what's going on because you have a tax exempt EIN. Now, the thing that concerns me is they open it up as a sole proprietor. Usually they open those accounts up as a non-profit account. So I would go back to the bank and question that part. Sole proprietor should not have been the designation, should have been a non-profit bank account. Because what is a church? A non-profit. There you have it. That's the long and short of it. So you go to them and ask them why they opened up as a sole proprietor and not as a non-profit. Because once the bank account is opened up as a non-profit account, the fees for those accounts are waived. So they don't have any monthly fees for those accounts. But as far as reporting, I couldn't tell you what the bank is going to do as far as the transactions. But I wouldn't care if they reported anything because the reason why I say I don't care because I have a tax exempt EIN and it's on the record with the IRS. Because that is exempt, they're not looking for you to report anything. So you'll be good either way. All right. Let's see. Let me go to So if you got questions, you can either put them in the chat for me, whether you're on Telegram or on the live stream on YouTube. You can put them in the chat when you have a question, or you can raise your hand on Telegram and we could talk live if you want to. So there you have it. One other thing I'm going to address, like I always advise people to get them a virtual address where they get mail at. And one of the things about virtual addresses, there's a form 1583 that they want you to fill out. That is required by the federal government for them to fill out to identify who is actually the owner of that iPostal mail account or any virtual mailbox. Anytime someone is handling your mail, you got to fill this form out, show them identity. You fill the same form out when you get a P.O. box. Now, specifically for, virtual addresses, when you give them ID, telephone numbers and stuff like that, that's basically information that they have to store at their site, on their premises. It's not something that's going to be given out to the federal government. Oh, this person. No, it's something that they have to have. So if they ever get audited to make sure that they're handling mail properly, all they want to see is those forms properly signed. That's it. It doesn't go anywhere. It's not public information. It doesn't go into some database and they're storing it. So what number you give them, it's private and it stays there. Whatever information you give them in private, it stays there. That's one of the concern of people. Well, I want to make sure this and that, and no, they have to have that on file, and it's for their records only. All right, their records. So keep that in mind when you're using private address. And I always tell y'all, stop getting that mail at your house, man. Get that stuff where you lay your head at. Don't get that straw man information. Have it go somewhere else. When I was doing iPostal, they didn't have a whole lot. Now they got iPostal addresses. You can get virtual addresses everywhere now. So it's no excuse. And it's still cheap. $10 a month or paid $100 for the year, and you got somewhere that will get your mail. So somebody got their hand up on line here. Let me unmute them. You can speak. Samuel King Lou. Unmute yourself. Yeah, hang on. Let me make sure they can hear you. Because it's not coming through to my... All right, go ahead. Speak up. Yeah, hang on. It's still not coming through. I don't think they can hear you. Sometimes it's damn near works. Damn. Hang on. Let me check my sound settings here. Every time they do an update on my app, it always does this. But what I'll do is I'll just take your question and just answer it. Just have to repeat it back. Second, let me just check something real quick. Give me, bear with me. All right, let me turn this off. Hang on. All right, go ahead. Virtual address? Any type. Yeah. Now, that's going to ask you where the car is physically located, but you could use that still as your mailing address. When you're dealing with car insurance, so the question is, can somebody said the sound was low? Hang on, turn my thing up. I guess they can't really hear you. Well, I know you can't hear the caller. We just, for some reason, it's not playing through. Let me bring it over here. I'm going to repeat his question back. His question is, when you get one of these virtual addresses, when it comes to insurance, what will you have to give them the physical address or the mailing address? When it comes to insurance, they need physical addresses because they're insuring something and they want to know where that piece of property is. So, yes, you will have to give them the physical address on that. All right. Not all of them. It just depends on what you're doing. The better way to answer that question, it depends on the business you're doing business with, where they will want a physical address. Credit card companies want a physical address now. They will not take a virtual address. But you can still use that. Huh? They got they know. They got a thing that they can put in and say, hey, this is a virtual address. They got technology. Technology. It's more for you to get, don't have the mail coming to your house. That's what I was specifically saying. Having all your stuff go to your virtual address for you to receive it. Don't have it coming to your house. Well, the benefit of doing that, you absolutely got to be new to anything that I teach, right? Right. The benefit of having a virtual address is that straw man mail, and you don't want straw man mail coming to the place you lay your head. So you let all of his mail go somewhere else, and you pick it up from over there because that's a U.S. citizen that they're addressing, and then you're trying to keep yourself away from that. And it gets deeper, but which I don't have really a whole lot of time to go into that. I did. I've done so many videos on it over the years. Oh, so there's other things that reason why you don't use your physical address for your mail because if you akemail.com, if you use your think about when they come to look for you and you using that address, they're gonna come to that address. You give them a virtual address. Always do business outside. Do you know lawyers don't even have mail coming to their office? They that stuff goes to a virtual address or somewhere else they pick it up. Uh, what drivers? No, my driver. No, virtual address. Drivers like yeah, you could do that. Yeah, and no, you can use a virtual address for your driver's license. They take it as long as you have proof that the mail is going there. They just want proof where the mail is going. That's mainly what it's for. All right. I got to figure out. All right, brother. All right. I got to figure out why this doesn't work. All these things are, well, you know what it is? Let me see something. That's working. Sound effects. As soon as they update. All right. All right. Still there? All right. Can y'all hear me? Because it was like my streaming started acting up. They don't want y'all to know this. My stuff don't never be acting up like this. Hadn't done that in a while. All right. That might have fixed it. I don't know. No, that gave me an echo. All right. It's a hit or miss with this thing. All right. But if y'all want to hear the calls, y'all could get on Telegram to hear the callers. Yeah, so Holly said y'all can hear me. I don't know. It started they saying the stream was ending on its own. I guess they don't want y'all to hear what I'm teaching y'all. Yeah, so when it comes to virtual addresses, the things I use them for is driver's licenses, any try to use it for any governmental um type paperwork or thing credentials. That's mainly what you want to use for because you don't want them having your physical address and you want to disassociate yourself from the straw man. There's no connection to you. All right. All right. Who's got a question in the chat? No, anybody type your questions in the chat. If you're on Telegram, type them because nobody can hear them. So I'm going to have to read them out and then answer them. Trying to figure out why nobody can hear. Let's see. Settings. All right. So nobody got a question. So okay. Somebody said I have the wrong type of estate EIN, a 99 EIN. Why is it why do you think that's wrong for one thing? The to get the correct number, is it as simple as just getting online and applying for another one? Oh, that's why you got the wrong one. Estate EINs. First, I need more context. What are you trying to do? Are you talking about a 98 number? A foreign EIN? Because a foreign EIN is not the same as an estate number. EIN number. And you can go online to get an estate EIN number. So I just need clarification because I think you're mainly talking about a 98 number. See? 9999 is correct because the reason why it's a 99 number is because that's the series they're in. So when you go online to get numbers, most of them going to start with a 99. Before there was 86s. If you fax or if you want a different two numbers that start with the EIN number, if you're trying to go on this, you can go online and get an estate number. Just go online and you pick a state number and it'll give you one. It'll tell you that 99 is not doesn't mean it's wrong because they get they when you were getting the state numbers before, they was an 8-6 number. Now they up to around 9-9. But I don't know what you checked off. Did you check off for an estate number? I'm waiting on him to type his answer. Samuel King, I'm not gonna open up your mic again because you already had your chance to ask a question. So wait till the next show, or you could type it in the chat. Plus, I can't get your mic going. Um, Jirac 360, I'm asking you a question. Did you, when you went online to get it, did you click estate number? Because there's an option for that. Now, if you're trying to use that number as a social, they're not going to accept that. No, they're right. I don't know. I could tell you're getting some information from other sources, and that's where the confusion is coming from. If you want a different series number, you need to fax or mail it in. Don't go online. They can tell the reason why they don't accept those numbers from online, and it's a 9-9, and you're trying to uh not use your social and use that in its place. They can tell that number came offline because it's a 9-9 number. But you need to go, if you go and fax it in or mail it in, you're going to get a different set of numbers. But you've already got the estate number. It's going to be hard to get another one. You only get one estate number from them. So if you're trying to get it, I kind of understand what you're trying to do, that process. I know about it from years ago. I don't recommend doing that. But just to answer your question, can't go online and get it because you're going to get that 9-9. Yeah, you can give them you can get it. The problem with the number you got, they're going to want your social along with that number. And first of all, you're looking to get yourself in trouble trying to open up an estate account. Because the state accounts, when you open up an estate account, that's usually accounts set up for deceased people to handle their affairs after a person is deceased. Technically, the straw man is deceased, but the way they got it, they're in their system, that becomes a problem. So I wouldn't be trying that process. I know exactly what you're doing. I've seen people do that over the years and ran into a lot of problems. You should be opening up trust accounts, and then doing your affairs out of that. Okay, you're gonna run into problems doing that estate number stuff. I That's a very old. That's like I've known about that for 10 years now. I don't use that. I don't even mess with that stuff. So that's what his question was about, a state number opening up the bank account. I know when I send an email out to people, I probably got 2,000 people on my email list, and you guys are coming from different walks of life, different schools of information, listening to different people, and y'all come to me with y'all questions like as if that's what I teach. I don't teach people to open up estate accounts and try to use those as regular accounts. No, I teach you to operate out of trust. Use trust accounts. Okay. All right. What time is it? 8:46. All right. I'm looking for another question. Put it in the chat. So he was talking about estate numbers, using the estate number for a bank account. I do not recognize. I do not advise you doing that. That will have caused you a lot of problems. Okay. And what you can do is you can open up a trust account, which has its own EIN, then create a personal trust that has its own EIN, and then use that personal trust EIN as your trustee for that main trust. That's how you would do that. Right? All right, I'm looking for another question or I'm getting off. All right. All right, no problem, Jarak. That was his question. I'm gonna put it on the screen. He was asking about state numbers. Yeah, people say you got the wrong type of EIN. That's why it's always good to research your stuff, because people have you going all over the planet and have you all screwed up. You know? Just be careful. Wonder what it is. Oh, I know what it will. I know what happened. Now I figured it out. I figured. That's a good. DJB Thunder, why are you asking me a question you already know the answer to? Why is it important not to have your social connected to your social security number? Because you don't want that straw man touching anything that's private. Period. That's it. Especially if you're trying to recruit funds off of those accounts. Because straw man cannot recoup anything. This is what he had. Why is it important to have trust account not connected to your social security number? Something he should already know the answer to. Why don't you, since you're asking the question, why don't you answer the question? You should know the answer to that. Type your answer to that. What do you think why we do it? I'll let you answer that. Your mom keep asking and she's stuck. What did you tell her? What did you say to her? I mean, okay, let's talk about that. Like, you keep trying to explain something to someone who really is not interested in knowing. Some people you just can't explain this to. So don't beat yourself up. Hey, trying to make her do something she don't really understand or even may not even want to understand. Trusts are for asset protection, correct. This is what he's saying. This is what y'all gotta do. Y'all listen. Some of y'all want to help people, and you still in the learning phase. DJB, you've been around for a while, so you know. I have learned that when it becomes very difficult for me to explain something to someone and they're not really getting it, that means they don't really want to get it. They're not trying to move forward. So you let them stay right there. I'm not going to be force feeding people this information. Oh no, not me. That's that one. Let's see what's going on. It's gotta be this one here. Trying to figure out why I couldn't get that. I had it working one time before. All right. Virtual form number is 1583. You will get that. This is the question she got. Would you repeat the virtual form number for the virtual address? It's form 1583. It's not a form you go get yourself. When you go set up a virtual address, they're going to have you fill that form out. And that's just to verify who is going to be controlling that virtual address. They need to have who this person is. And all of that's basically because of 9/11 and all of this stuff. So they know who's got what. They want you to fill that out. You got to show ID and you got to get the form notarized. And they usually do that for you right there at the place where you do business at. But if you open up your virtual address online, you fill it out, go get it notarized, and then email it back to them. I have to get that through my mind. This information and knowledge is not for everyone. Absolutely. Not everybody's ready to learn this stuff. And there'll be a lot of people will ask you questions and they really don't want the answer. Really, they're asking the question to trip you up. So, stop. I've stopped trying to educate many of my family long time ago. I don't even bring it up. Like, it was a time I used to love talking about what I do and what I'm doing, excited. Now, when I'm in their presence, the conversation even come up. I let them talk about what they want to talk about. After a while, when you're on this journey, you just learn that the information you're getting is for you, not for everybody else. And if someone wants to share the information with you and talk to you about it, I'll talk to them. And then even in those cases, I learned that that person I'm talking to is not really interested. They just, what they call fact checking me, just trying to find a way to disagree with me. So I pretty much keep my mouth shut. All right. All right. It's almost 5 minutes to 9. I'm looking for some more questions. One more question and I'm out of here. I got all this free resources. I sent out like hundreds of emails. And people love emailing me with their questions, but they never want to get on here and ask it. Never do. Andre, you would have to type your question into the chat. Then I can answer it, because when I open up a mic, the audience is not going to be able to hear that question. So just type it. So I'm not opening up any mics till I figure out why people can't be heard on this thing. Maybe if let's see something. I'm going to try something here. Maybe this will work, and then I could actually take the calls. There it goes. That's what I was looking for. This might work now. All right, Andre, hold on. Open up your. Oh, I'm opening up your mic now. Give me a second to get it out there. How to speak. Now you can unmute yourself. See, this is what I was looking for it to work. Andre, you can open up your mic. He might not hear me. I unmuted you. Now I got it open and he's not. Well, when he's ready, I'll take his question. Andre Owens, you ready? You're up. I know I said I wouldn't take it, but I figured out what was going on and I got the audio that I need. Maybe he don't know how to unmute himself. All right, next. When he figure it out, we'll get to him. Actually, I think I know what he wants to know. He sent me a question earlier. Let's see. I got a question from somewhere. Was it by email? Oh, here it is. Your question is really for the meetings. You're asking about the medallion step and what are the next steps. I need details of what are you talking about. You've already in all the next steps is in the membership, so those are answered there. If you go to the beginning, start here. There's orientation on what you're supposed to be doing. So you asked me how I got my medallion stamp. Okay, what's your next steps? I need to know what you did so far. But really, that's a private meeting question. Those things you're talking about. What's your next step as far as your recoupment process? That's for the meetings that I hold every Monday at 7:00 every other Monday. Not every Monday, every other Monday. Just had a meeting tonight, so the next one will be 2 weeks from now. Or you can get a consultation like you suggested in your text or your email. All right. These Consultation Mondays is for general questions that don't pertain specifically to how the membership works. Specifically. All right, well, since nobody got any more questions, everybody's kind of. I had some good questions. Had the virtual thing. I will reiterate, because his brother did bring up a good point, and it was an old teaching where people were teaching, and I even was a part of that. I was a part of that group when we was advised to open up estate accounts and then open up bank accounts. And I could tell you that turned into a problem and a disaster eventually. But while you're here, breathing, living, you need to have trust accounts, irrevocable trust accounts, and run your business through that. I mean, there's other ways too. There's, church accounts. If you're gonna have a church, you could do that. But you need to run your bills through your trust. Open up your bank accounts in trust. Open up your lights, your utilities, or your utility cell phone bills. Put them in trust. Why do I tell you to do that? Because now expenses that normally you would not be able to write off on your taxes, now you can do that because you have a trust account. Simple. It's that simple. Like normally you can't write off your light bills and all of that stuff. But if you have your light bill in your trust account, you can. If you have your light bill in your cell phone bill in your trust account, you could write that off. See, it's called doing commerce. See, when they created that social, they created the social for you to do commerce with it for their benefit. Why? Because now when you get paid, they could take a percentage of your money from your paycheck. But when you're acting as if a business, the government don't get the money first. They get it last. If you are obligated, if you owe taxes. But if you're a church, temple, synagogue, or mosque, there's no filing requirements. You don't have to worry about it in those cases. You know how much money you'll save just by being able to write off your daily bills if you buying your groceries with your trust account? You can write that off. All right, let's get this Damon L. Bay allowed to speak. You can unmute yourself, Damon L. Bay. Do y'all know how to unmute yourself? Oh, can he hear me? I'm sure they can. Damon L. Bell, can you unmute yourself? I'll tell you, my Telegram acting weird. Damon L. Bay. Damon L. Bay. I guess he dropped off. Gonna hear me. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave. Okay, now it seems like it's working right. Peace. I love being me 333 in La Vida. How's the channel going? I guess the people that I see, Andre Owens, I got you where you can open up your mic. You still didn't do it. All right. Let's see what other questions we got. We got 22 people on and only a couple of people got questions. I got it where I got the Telegram should work now. Hey, Paul, I'm gonna open up your mic so we can test it out. By the way, that's my brother, Paul. That's the only family that listens to my show. Everybody else don't listen. Oh, Andre, I see you unmuted yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they should be able to hear you now, but you sound like you're underwater.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me
Yeah, your connection is not coming through clear. I can't. It sounds like you like a computer.
Hold on, again.
Why don't you go in and come back out?
Brother G.
You probably gonna have to
Hello?
go in. You have to go out. You're gonna have to go out and come back in
Okay.
because it's just not gonna be good.
All right.
So that now I know they can hear you. Y'all heard that, right? Y'all could hear him. And it wasn't clear, but y'all could at least hear him.
Okay, can you hear me now? I'm brother
I
King.
can hear you. You still sound like you in a computer or something.
No, I'm on my cell phone. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
it
on my
sounds garbly.
cell phone. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it sounds real bad.
Well, I may have to
Are
book
you
a
on your
consultation
cell phone? What are you
with you,
on?
brother. Huh?
What type of computer
Hello?
are you using?
No, it's my cell phone.
I don't know, man. I can't hear you. It's
Okay, wait.
probably not that. I can't. No, I can't. You sound bad. It's not coming through.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Hey, Paul, do me a favor. Open up your mic. Unmute yourself. Can you hear me?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
Maybe it's me because he sound the same way. Give me a second. I'm gonna leave and come back. I'm gonna close out Telegram and come right back. Hang on.
All right.
Maybe it's me. I'm thinking it's them, but shoot, they sound. Everybody sounded like that. All right, let's close out Telegram. Quit. Open it back up. Thinking it's them, and it's probably me. Maybe I'm using too much bandwidth. All right, join.
Where?
All right.
Yeah, sound.
Yeah. Now it sounds better. All right. Okay. Hey, y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Let me hang on. Let me get I gotta get y'all back on here where all right, go ahead. Ask your question.
Okay. Yeah, so brother King, yeah, I heard what you said.
Oh,
Couldn't
you know
figure
what
out
it is? Whenever I share the
what I should
screen to
type the
get this
question
to
in.
work.
But anyway, I'm at the process. I got my medallion stamp, and I've been watching the videos, and I've been getting help from my cousin James, and
You sound
I
like
just
a
wanted to hear from
computer still.
you
Hang
directly.
on.
You know,
Andre, hold on, bro.
all the necessary steps I should be taking after this for the recruitment process.
Yeah, those questions you're asking, Andre, is for the private membership. That's private membership
Brother King,
question.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
I think he having trouble on YouTube.
Yeah, she sound. You know
I
what
can
it
hear you
is?
loud and
What,
clear, but I see on
yeah,
YouTube.
yeah. What it is when I share the screen, it's not. It's coming out bad. That's the problem. But let me do this. I'm gonna. I'll just speak. I'm gonna fix that. Give me a second. Paul, you can unmute yourself. All right. I know what the issue was. Share.
All right.
All right, how's that, Paul?
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it sounds bad, like coming through. Give me a second. I'm about to All right, go ahead. I don't.
It's
It's
that again
not.
on the
Huh?
YouTube.
Just type your question in on YouTube. I can't. This thing here ain't working right. I'm actually gonna shut this down because it's really screwing up. It didn't do that before. Yeah, it was good. It was like it sounded crazy. It was clear, but as soon as I shared the screen, it went wacky. Like what it is with the Telegram app, I need the option for my system controls to pop up, and the only way to get it to pop up is if I share the screen. But it's not what I. Yeah, take that off. All right. Yeah, Andre, I don't know if you can hear me, but those questions you was asking is private membership questions, it's not for the public. I'm sorry about that. I couldn't answer those questions anyway, even. So, take your headphones off. That's the only way I know what's going on by having this headphone on. All right. He says, "Sun's all clear." We got to figure out why Telegram is not allowing me to broadcast through my board. Because it was working fine. Yeah. Whenever I shared the screen, it just sounded like a computer. Maybe they did something to block me from doing it. All right, well, it's 9:13. I'm out of here. I'll see y'all I'll see y'all tomorrow for Tuesday's show. Peace. If you want to remove negative people, you stay positive. When they say something negative, you say something positive. You keep staying positive, guess what? They going to walk away. They going to leave. And if you have control over your environment, like in your house, and you put nothing but positive, negative stuff, they going to walk away. I don't know. I don't know if this is a husband, boyfriend you're talking about. Maybe some people, you say people, you just stay positive. They say something negative and you meet it with a positive word. But let me be clear. If you got negative